through his child, so when he leave here, he can just smile. But I see fit to stay here a while, maybe buy a timeshare somewhere, rock bumwear, beach chair, write a book each year. You can write yourself out of your blessings. Wreck your Lambo the first stages by driving too reckless. Time is too precious, these some obvious lessons. Please remind me to watch my step while I balance on edges, ski on the slopes of life. Slide down the Ave at night, watching them graphing graffiti on walls, that's the sight. Cars from Germany, I be pushing the fastest type. Looking at real estate, brother, I need the asking price. Imagine another rapper making me perspire. I got more styles and more flows, plus I'm much flyer. I got more heights to reach, but I'm already higher. I'm already on to the next thing. Peace and bless, King.
All right, all right, all right. Let's go, people. It's Monday, September 12th, 2022. Clarity Month. We're getting it together. We're getting it together for next year and really to finish out this year strong. We know what it is that we have to do and we know how to push forward. I will get into it as we continue with the broadcast. I'm first going to get the housekeeping out of the way. Guys, please remember to like, share, subscribe, engage. This is a lot of great information that I've come across in all of my travels, all of my experiences, having tons and tons of coaches, real estate, business, otherwise. And this is the information that we use in order to take it to the next level. And we're going to talk about some really great things today. So I'm excited about it. Guys, remember Monday nights, I'm here right around 9 o'clock, letting you know exactly what it takes. Why is my business not moving? Why haven't I gotten to the next point? Why does it seem like people are lapping me? This is why. Everything that I'm sharing is why you see people who tend to be successful versus those who are doing a lot of the work but aren't necessarily moving the needle. So we'll get into that. Of course, we'll talk a little bit about real estate as well, because I am your real estate guy here in South Florida, Northern Palm Beach County. Remember to reach out to me for any of your real estate needs. Wednesdays, it starts with me. Go check it out. 12:30. My brother Joe with Tenacity Foundation. Check him out each and every Wednesday. Friday, Community Beacon. Guys, check us out. Community Beacon. We're also talking about clarity. We're also talking about planning and moving forward. What it is that we're doing. Last week we spoke about really the mindset that it takes. We discussed a lot of our morning habits, what it is we do to get our day started, to stay grounded, because we know that great mornings equal great days equal great weeks equals great months, years, so on and so forth, all the way down to the decade. So guys, remember to check us out, 6:30, Tenacity, Community Beacon. I'm saying Tenacity Foundation from our brother Joe. All right, let's get into it. Let's go into real estate news. This is somewhat real estate. This is definitely real estate related. Gonna bring this up. Check it out. We're really talking about this student loan forgiveness. I know a lot of people, this divided the country, but it is what it is. So President Joe Biden is canceling tens of millions of dollars in student loan debt. Is good news for the real estate industry. Absolutely. I can't tell you the amount of people that have come to me looking to buy a property, their first property, and they couldn't do it because their debt to income ratio was off because of the student loans that they had. So this up to $20,000 is definitely going to play a part to it. Let's read it. It says, while many millennials already own homes, great, student loan forgiveness could play a role in increasing rates of millennial home ownership. We got to remember, in the 1970s, I want to say, what is it? The amount of going to college went up massively. And so, you got a lot of people who are taking out a lot of debt. This article is going to talk about a little bit about how much the average millennial took out. It says between $40,000 and $60,000 to pay for school, which obviously it says it's a significant financial barrier. So that 10 to 20,000 is really going to help out a lot. That's an extra $100 or $200 a month that's going to be coming off of that payment that they're making. And in turn, it helps out with the debt to income ratio. It says home ownership has always been higher among student loan borrowers, likely due to higher education income levels. Millennial borrowers who own homes, nearly 50% bought their homes during the period after the Great Recession. We had some really good times between 2012 and 2020, 21. Surplus housing, low interest rates, down payment assistance. Remember, we had record low interest rates. We're down to sub 3%. It allowed a lot of millennials the ability to borrow homes regardless of their student loan status, which was excellent. Obviously, it decreased, and it's going to decrease even more because of the, you know, after pandemic, inflation, etc. It says 63% of home purchases between 2022 were still made by millennials with outstanding student loans. Okay, so people were still buying homes, indicating that pause on a student loan payment has given many millennials opportunity to save for homes. Isn't that interesting? Love that stat. The question at hand is how eliminating student debt may influence millennial home buying. Rocker Mortgage, which is I think they're the number one lenders in the country nationally, found that 19.2% of millennials who think they won't buy a home simply don't believe they can afford it. While many millennials are still planning on buying homes regardless of whether their student loans are forgiven, nearly 7% of millennials borrowers believe they could achieve their dream of ownership years sooner if student loan forgiveness becomes a reality. Absolutely. Rocket Mortgage also found that the count of student loan forgiveness doesn't impact the amount millennials plan to spend on homes. Okay, we're back. Here's something else that a lot of people may not necessarily know, especially in regards when it comes to home ownership. And I'm going to go specifically for the state of Florida that whenever a home is bought, it contributes $112,500 to the local economy. $112,000 is automatically given to the local economy. That's because we're talking about title companies, inspections, renovations, all these different things that happen when we have new home ownership. When more people own homes, the better the communities tend to be. So with this injection, better communities, each, 112,000 is approximately 2 jobs here in Florida. So we're saying that for each home bought, there's 2 jobs created essentially. I mean, guys, that's great news for everybody, regardless of what side of the aisle you're on, whatever, however you feel about it. At the end of the day, it does impact you when people are buying homes. And so when it's made easier for people to buy homes, and I'm not in talking about, those, the subprime rates and et cetera. Those that was happening back in between 2002 and 2007, and it almost to eight. I'm talking about real home ownership, fixed 30-year loans, fixed 15-year loans. This is a good thing, guys. So remember that while you're thinking about it. All right, let's get quickly into the month. Like I said, this is Clarity Month. This is time for us to start to figure out, especially those of us who are newer to the business world, newer to the entrepreneurship world. Let's start thinking about, am I creating a hobby or am I creating a business? Am I creating a hobby or am I creating a business? Meaning that businesses should make money, should see profits. Not creating a job for yourself, not creating a side hustle, something extra for you to do after work. I'm talking about actually creating a business, something that you can actually sell. For us in real estate, we would, you could essentially sell your book of business if it's done correctly. Not part-time, not I'm doing this to do this. I'm talking about actually creating a business. This is what I'm here to talk to those people who actually want to create a business and not actually create a job for themselves, handcuffs, right? Because there's an illusion that when you become an entrepreneur, you get into business, there's an illusion that everything automatically frees up. Yeah, you have the freedom of choice, but you can be quickly looking for another job very quickly. Okay, so I only want to talk to people who are creating a business, not necessarily a hobby. I'm sure there's online formats for that. This is not necessarily it. So if you're creating a business, you need to get clear on your numbers. It's September. We need to get clear on our numbers. And the this month is great to get clear on it. October is an even better time for you to get crystal clear and focused on what your numbers are. And so that being said, we kind of started it in a group of ours. So shout out. This is not my tool. It's actually created. I didn't create this tool, but I was given this tool by Jim Chamberlain. Shouts out to Jim Chamberlain of EXP over on the West Coast. And I am going to, boom. I think I just got a comment. Let me see who's shouting me out. What numbers exactly? Great, great question, Jason. I'm personally, since I'm in real estate, I'm going to go over my realtor numbers, not my investment numbers, but real estate numbers for those who are thinking about creating a real estate sales business. So I'm going to go over that, and hopefully you all can see this screen, which I mean, this is just a real simple tool that this is what's going to let you know what you need to be doing on a daily basis. And you're really working backwards. And this is a blank canvas. So a lot of the numbers here aren't necessarily it says Northern Palm Beach County, aren't for Northern Palm Beach County, but I just wanted to start, and I'm going to fill in some numbers to show you how I would do it if show you how actually do it. I think my number system is a little bit more in depth than this, but this is pretty good. So on this side, and I'm not sure if you guys can see my mouse or not, but I'm highlighting this over on the left-hand side where it says historical data. This is where we go in, we'll go into our local MLS, we'll figure out what were the sales for 2019, 20, 21, and 22. Because what happens is once we get really in depth with these numbers, we can kind of skip a lot of these headline, you know, I like to call it like the headline reader. Some people only read the headlines of the tabloids. Nobody really gets in depth with actually really what's going on. This is allowing you to get in depth of what's really going on. When the first time I ever did this, especially for Palm Beach County, what I found interesting was, and these numbers are different from Palm Beach County because I don't have Palm Beach counties in here. What I found was that normally during December and January, where people think that homes aren't being sold, is actually some pretty busy times for Palm Beach. November, December, and January tends to be pretty busy where people aren't shopping for homes. It's the holidays, I'm preparing for the holidays, et cetera, et cetera. Homes are being sold and in great amounts. So you would fill that part in. Man, I'm going to jump back and forth, Jason, just to see if you wrote anything back. All right, let me go back to it. And so now, a lot of this stuff is going to be, it's automatically going to populate into here. A lot of these things go hand in hand. So we need to figure out what is our median. So I'm going to put in for Palm Beach County. Our median currently is about 410,000. And this one is on the listing side, but it's about the same for both sides. 410,000 for a home. Okay. I'm going to fill in the commissions, 2.5% normally for the buyer side. It's about 3.5 on the listing side. Okay. So this is basically telling you about what it is that you're going to make. So right here, you're going to see the total. This would be for the year, 217,000. If you want to make 217,000, let's say I wanted to make a little bit more. I would change my contact. This is for people who prospect. These are for people who make phone calls, prospecting clients daily, not daily, but if you're prospecting for clients, these are the amount of real estate conversations you need to have per day. And the interesting part is that we've put 15 per day because over here where you see this 75, 75 is essentially the national average of how many contacts it would take you, to make an appointment. So nationally average, it takes about 75 conversations to get one listing appointment. Okay. So right here, if we had 15 contacts per day, which is not a lot, you can see that according to our median, or excuse me, our average prices and average commissions, at 15 contacts per day, you'd be right around 271,000. You'd be right around 271,000. And then you can kind of play with these different things. How many days? People normally actually work about 240 days a year. People work around 240 days. That one said 200. That actually bumps you up to 326. So now you can even take your contacts down, because I just want to make it around 250, right? Actually 11. Oh, yeah, 12. It's about 12. All right, cool. So, you're making 260. And this is based on a couple of numbers that, once again, a lot of these are averages. And here, if you're just starting off, listings taken average percentage, that means for every appointment, you however many appointments you'll take, they're saying if you go on, out of 100% of the appointments, you'll take about 60% of them. So I think most people start, it's more like 30, because you put your foot in your mouth. So now, okay. So this is what we start talking about when you're just starting, how much harder you have to work. But you'll get good if you start practicing your listing presentations, etc. So you can go from 30 to 60 easily. I know Jim says to put it at about 50, but I think it's more like 30%. So now you're at 130,000. So and here's how you can play with everything. So now you can kind of make, like, say, okay, I'm 30%. I'm new. I don't really quite have this thing figured out yet. But so in order to get back to that 250, if you want to make 250,000 a year, you have to increase your contacts per day. You got to increase them quite a lot. Mm. And I'm just playing with this guy. I just want to show you, like, what exactly it is that you have to do. And the great thing about this is that you can play with it. As you get better, your contacts per appointment is going to go down. I've let me okay. So this is beginners somewhat. Your contacts might even go up. This is like someone who's just starting off. Now let's go to some veterans, because I know their numbers, right? This is after about 5, maybe about 6 to 10 years of doing this. You got people whose contact ratios go down to about 30 contacts per appointment. Okay. They're still making about, it's easier now for them, so they don't mind taking more calls. So you got people who are doing close to about 40 contacts per day, because they don't mind it, right? The listings take, because you're having fun and you're making money, and it's not as hard, right? You become unconsciously competent. So now their listings taken. I mean, you got guys who take like 80%, right? Like 80%. Like, this is this is insane, the amount of money that some of the top agents make. This might be a little bit high, because I'm, but it's like, once you bring these contacts down, meaning that you've gotten better, it makes it a lot easier. You're on the phone with some people. I mean, you're talking about these guys are making close to $1 million at 1.5 a year, and I guess back, it's probably a little bit less, because back then their listing side commissions were less. But I mean, it's just we just wanted to play around with it. But however, guys, here's the moral of it. The moral of it is that you start to put your numbers together. You start to understand what activities you need to be doing each day, because if you want to become successful at it, because most people do suck at the beginning. If you want to become successful at it, you can't really be thinking about the end of it, which is interesting, because I had a conversation with a family member today, and that's something exactly what we talked about. So see how this all comes around, because this is a guy who put in a lot of work as well to get to where he's at. So it was like, you know, you can't really start thinking about the end goal. You have to start thinking about the activities daily, because your power is in the present, right? You can't, your power is not in that's hope. Hope is in the 10, 15, 20 years down the line. Your power is in the present. So if your power is in the present, that means that you need to fall in love. Your power is in the activities that you're doing, and which are the contacts that you need to make while you're getting your skill set better. So this is just a point of this. So this gets you extra clear on what exactly it is I need to do today. I need to come here today. I'm terrible. My contact to appointments are way up there. I want to make X amount of money. That's the goal. So I need to come here. I need to make 24. I need to have 20 to 25 contacts a day or more or better. All right. It's late. I appreciate you guys for checking in. Remember, if you guys have anyone who's looking to buy or sell real estate, please don't have them to hesitate to call me. I'm here to help and support you guys in whatever it is. So definitely real estate, right? So appreciate you. I will see you Friday. Check me out on Community Beacon. Peace.
A man reproduces himself through his child, so when he leave here, he can just smile. But I see fit to stay here a while, maybe buy a timeshare somewhere, rock bumware, beach chair, write a book each year. You can write yourself out of your blessings, wreck your Lambo the first stages by driving too reckless. Time is too precious, these some obvious lessons. Please remind me to watch my step while I balance on edge and ski on the slopes of life. Slide down the Ave at night, watching them graphing graffiti on walls, that's the sight. Cars from Germany, I be pushing the fat.